Have made it back, and another, well, we can certainly say eventful week. But first and
Indeed.
foremost, we had a question for all of our viewers and all of our listeners. A description we're asking for of an individual. But that's
An
all you get.
image.
That's all you get.
All we got.
There's an
Well, we
image.
specified there was an image.
There is an image of a person. So, if you've got an idea of what that is, leave it below. And because this is interesting stuff, and well, it works
Well,
one
that
way or
was
the other.
last week's. Was a person.
Exactly. That was last
Um,
week's. So this week's will be someone or something
some.
else.
It'll be some. It'll be a different image, and
It will be an image with which I can guarantee your unfamiliarity. So,
yes.
if you have an idea what that image is depicting, leave it in the comments. Firstly. So, that said, just an interesting experiment, and we're just going to kind of keep this
Yeah.
running. And beyond that, of course,
Well,
since I'm actually thinking of it, are you subscribed? Are you leaving comments? Are you leaving likes? Why not? Do it.
oh
Do it
god,
now.
we're doing
Down
that
below.
shit now.
I mean, honestly, that's how shit grows. So that's what we do. But anyway, we got the shilling out of the way and the quick update out of the way. So beyond that, what a week it's been. So let's do the other super quick update, and that, of course, obviously is
Hold on. Before we get to that, just
Okay.
in the name of Shilling, because I do see him in the chat.
Okay.
Bats, are you subscribed? Should have you left a comment.
Indeed.
Bats, have you left a like?
Mm.
Sorry.
Ah, but yeah. So with that said,
Oh, now we're good.
with that said, the other quick update, of course, on a noteworthy topic that we're following is obviously the Spaceballs cinematic universe that has just been revealed. Of course,
Oh my goodness.
leave it to Mel Brooks, to really knock it out of the park as he does.
He
So,
can crystallize a meme, as it were.
oh, it's a thing of beauty. So, phase one, I'll throw a link here, of course, off discussing film, which that'll have all your necessary and pertinent data regarding the Spaceballs continuing and evolving timeline. But starting out, of course, this year, the second one, that'll be out. Anyway, 2028 Spaceballs, The Schwartz Awakens. 2029, this is, of course, phase one of the Spaceballs cinematic universe. Spaceballs, The Franchise Menace. 2030, the Spaceballs Winnebago Nights. 2031, Spaceballs Super Duper Secret Wars. Because, as we all know, Secret Wars are lame and gay, and we want something far more exciting than that. And then, of course, phase two, that's listed as a 2032-ish, is Dark Helmet Origins, a Spaceballs story. Then as a Who Knows rating, which, obviously would mean 2033. Of course, Dark Helmet Origins 2, even younger. And then probably Dark Helmet Origins 3, which would be the youngest. And then Dark Helmet Origins, or as I would call it, Dark Helmet Gaijin, where it all began. Then, of course, Phase 3, Yogurt, Schwartz and all. That would be in the 2023 realm. 2034, Mog, the last dog standing, which, that one, be on the lookout for that one. That's going to be... Well, I hear rumors they're going to be bringing John Candy's kid around for that one, and it's going to be a big deal. It's all just rumors, so take it for what it's worth. Then 2035, of course, Heroes of Druidia, Rogue Dumb. 2036, obviously, Spaceballs for kids. And then as we move along, of course, we have phase 5, which is, of course, Spaceballs, the Musical, Pizza the Hut, the Lone Star Chronicles, Two Space, Two Balls, Vespa, Schwartz-Atar, Colonel Sanders, and, of course, Dot Matrix, all the things that are absolutely necessary for the continuing storytelling. Phase 6, obviously, will be, I say obviously, but this isn't necessarily obvious to everyone, so that's why we have to go through these things. Which would be Spaceballs the Cookbook, Spaceballs the Lunchbox, with a tie-in leading to the Spaceballs lawsuit, but also including the Spaceballs coloring book, the Spaceballs fragrance, which, as is stated, smells like Lone Star, which of course heavenly and spacey. Spaceballs, the board game, Spaceballs, the NFT collection, which if you didn't get in on the first run a few years back, coming back, no worries. Spaceballs, the apology, and this all, of course, tying into the finalization of the Phase 6, which is Spaceballs, the apology for the retraction, and Spaceballs, earnings call 2. And then, of course, we lead that up into Phase 7, which will start out with Spaceballs, the musical, but also having the tie-in of Spaceballs, the musical, the album, and Spaceballs, the musical, the real-life tour, which, as you might imagine, will tie in with Spaceballs, the musical live, and, of course, the Spaceballs, the musical karaoke experience, as well as the reveal trailer, which, of course, that'll be a monumental event, including, as well, the Spaceballs, the musical's cruise, excuse me, sorry, pardon my English. And then we have Phase 8 and Phase 9. These are all just tentative. I'm not really going to get deep into that because we just don't know yet. It's too early to say for sure right now. But there's your Spaceballs update, as we are required by law to do. So legal requirements having been exhausted on our end, we should probably talk about other legal issues, that being Shiloh Hendrix. So, the trial, it resolved a few days back, and she was found innocent on the count of saying naughty words to a child, but found guilty.
Pause right there. Saying naughty words to a 9-year-old with an ankle monitor.
Yeah, a 9-year-old with an ankle monitor because his father does not watch over him, minding, of course, that his father said that it was a 5-year-old, and that said, quote, 5-year-old, that was actually a 9-year-old. Ended up stealing something from Shiloh's baby bag.
I can give a dad a brief moment of respite on that one, if he's actually working a job and caring for the kid.
Right, as opposed to being on the dole.
5 instead of 9. I get that, but if the kid's wearing an ankle monitor because you don't pay attention to him, I also kind of get it, but it's no longer one where you're just like, oh well, that makes sense. I guess we could all laugh it off.
Mm-hmm.
That's
true. But then,
why aren't you wearing an ankle monitor too, jackass?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because he probably should have been, but something happened. Oh. So let's just break that down. Okay. Let's just break it down a little bit. So, okay. Omar kidnapped a 16-year-old girl with him and his brother, and kept her hostage while raping her continually over the course of 2 days. She has managed to escape, apparently, and was found by the police, quote, sleep-deprived, dehydrated, and had not eaten recently, according to the nurse that, did her rape kit and, was examining her. And, of course, they obviously, they denied that, of course, but unfortunately her glasses were in there, and then in a lineup, she was like, yeah, that guy and that guy. But, as you do in that interesting Midwestern state, the prosecutors thought, in the interest of justice, and I quote, in the interest of justice, they felt that they should drop the charges and not really bother explaining or, giving any information as to why they made that decision or anything. Just, you know what? It's okay that guy and his brother raped a minor over 2 days continually and held her kidnapped and, probably threatened her life numerous times. Now, mind you, of course, there is an enormous amount of time between these two incidents, that being 30 days.
No.
30 days. Between the extended rape of this innocent girl by this man and his brother and them being just cut loose, let go, let free. So within 30 days, within 1 month's time, this guy gets out his camera phone, and he starts recording a bunch of kids at a playground. Don't know why, but we've got a little bit of precedent here. Anyway.
Well, with all of this as preamble, that brings us to charge number 2.
It does, because she was not found innocent of charge number 2. And that charge number 2 was, long and short, fightin' words. Fightin' words with a guy that rapes children.
So this guy came up to her and told her to say it. Said it himself a bunch of times.
Yes, say the word. Say
And
the
she
what
finally-
word? What word? We're gonna nigger. Say the word, and she did. That word, that evil, magic, special word that makes the whole world fall fucking down. And she said it. Oh no! And that was that. And that was fucking that.
Yeah, and then she finally fucked off. Now, in my opinion, once the thought that comes to mind is, once I've got my kid in my arms, I'm out of there. She took her time a little bit. I understand that she's a little bit smaller, so making sure that he doesn't come after her and like strike her, etc. But
yeah, when the only offensive implement she has to deal with this rapist is a word, and she chooses to use it.
No. We're not going to characterize it like that, because here's the thing. I think that here's where she made the mistake, was in any way acquiescing to his request.
Fair.
Because you don't do that with a fucking bully, because that's never going to be the end of it.
Well, and that's exactly what he is. He's a rapist and a bully.
Cupcake. They don't come to you and say, give me your cupcake, and then not mush it in your face. You don't give this person what they want. The only way to win that game is not to play. That's the only way to win. And right now she's got, 200 hours of community service.
I think it's 100.
And to suspend a 90-day sentence
200.
or whatever, or a 30-day sentence.
Yep.
And a $1,000 fine.
While at the same time,
she would not have gone through that the same way had she just gotten the fuck out of there and called the police.
Now that said, she did nothing wrong and she committed no crime. And I expect that this has already been stated that it will be appealed. We're going to actually kind of dig into this because there's rather a lot here. So first and foremost, before we even get into the lawyer and the appeal, because the lawyer had some great things to say, we should probably talk about Shiloh Hendrix on Twitter, or X, if you like, because she's not at all. However, there is an account. There is an account that purports to be her. But no. It is not.
Well,
that'd be the black guy.
Yeah, the 6 foot tall black guy versus the 5 foot whatever the hell.
That would be the black guy that's been to jail for kind of doing fraud and shit,
Kind of like he just
did. Wire fraud, I should say, and identity theft. Surprisingly, has committed another federal felony of identity theft. So Jamel Lewis.
This is the one who did the GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
And collected
separate GoFundMe, not the original.
Separate GoFundMe, and collected a couple $100,000 in her name.
Yep.
Or sorry, using her name.
Rather a fair slice of money. So, just a quick note on the side. You can go to reportfraud.ftc.gov, or if you feel so inclined, you can call them directly on your phone, 1-877-382-4357. Give them a call. Let them know that Jamel Lewis has crossed the line. And by the way, if you have trouble with that, JAMELLLEWIS of Indianapolis, Indiana. So, Jamel, I hope that everything you ever deserved is coming your way, sir. Because you've earned it.
I have a feeling that he's already been reported a few times.
Oh, as do I. But, volume has a quantity all its own. Or that is to say, quantity even has a quality all its own. Anyway, that's just one thing. That's just one, because unfortunately that's not all. So as you were saying, the not prosecutor, the attorney, he had rather a lot to say regarding this, and he makes a number of excellent points. This is a flat out First Amendment issue, without getting into any of the other issues. For instance, the one we just discussed, being the history of the assaulter, if we will.
Well, I mean, that part notwithstanding, the fact that she said a word shouldn't be what determines whether or not she goes to jail.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately, the 200 hours is to stay a sentence. for a period of time in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Or in whatever. It doesn't matter what the fuck the distinction is. To be caged like an animal for saying a word.
Indeed.
And as far as it's in fucking fighting words, I'm sorry, but if the word depends on your skin color, it's fucking racist.
It is.
Like as a ruling, and that is a very simple test.
If a black man could call me cracker.
No. Skip all of that. The fact that he said it multiple times, demanding she say it, she said
Another
it once.
great point. So how come he can say the magic word over and over and over, yet she can't say the magic word in reply to his demand that she say the magic word? Good point.
I mean, if it's not, well, here's the thing: if it comes down to characteristic, if it's not her skin color, then it's got to be her sex. And I'm thinking it wasn't the fact that she's a woman that made him get so mad.
Kinda not.
Maybe it was the fact that she saw him looking after a 9-year-old boy who was digging through her shit. I mean, it's nuts.
It is completely.
I can't wait to see the result. Here's the thing: is like you don't have to like or agree with this person to recognize how ridiculous the situation is. You don't have to like or agree with either party to say that this is ridiculous.
And just a quick reminder: Chud the Builder, still in jail, still awaiting any kind of justice. But beyond that, let's get back to Shiloh. And let's talk a little bit about this case and what the lawyer had to say. Specifically, that he was threatened with contempt of court if he told the jury about the assaulter's family having a GoFundMe up to provide for him during this time for his assault that he did on her and her child. Threatened. So he can't even tell the truth.
So that wasn't the most egregious thing that I heard from him. It was
there's more.
Every time he tried to raise an objection and he tried to do a record, that the judge would throw her hands up and leave the fucking room.
Well, not only that,
and then screamed at him.
I should say that's actually an excellent point. But above and beyond that point as well, too. This is a misdemeanor trial. This is a misdemeanor trial of a person that said some words to another person.
At 10:30 at night.
At 10:30 at night. That's exactly right. These people were made to deliberate for over 8 hours. They were recessed at about 2 fucking p.m. or a little bit before. They had their lunch. Jeez. They came back in. Boom, bang, bim. It's done. They made them stay at a fucking misdemeanor. Nobody's fucking dead. Nobody's fucking shot. Nobody's legs are broken. Nobody's elbows are broken. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got punched. Some fucking words got exchanged. And that fucking bitch judge made the jury stay until late into the fucking evening.
Hold up. We're making a presumption here. I'm not sure that is actually true.
No, it is.
We wouldn't know. Well, we won't know until there's corroboration from a jury member should they come forward to the press.
Well, we do know that they were made to stay that late.
No. Pause. You see.
Okay, sorry. I will amend my words. I will amend my words. We know that they stayed until after 10 p.m. to reach a verdict. We do not specifically know why. However. They are usually offered the option to come back tomorrow, kind of thing. That is the most common course of events.
It might be they all raise their hand to stay there.
That is possible.
It's usually like if anyone wants to go home, they can go home, and they have to wait anyway.
That is possible, and that is normal. That is normal.
And I gotta tell you, if it's something like this, where I'm just like, there cannot be that much complexity to it. Let's just stay here and knock it out. Like, I would have stayed.
Sure.
Because, like, why the fuck am I going to drag this shit out for multiple days? Why can't we just get it done and go home, get some sleep, forget about this shit?
And you'd think
If
you would think
I'm on
that would be
jury,
kind
I'm
of an
getting
open
done.
and shut thing. But here's the other part
Right.
that I'd like to share, because
But they
I
also stay
have,
till 10:30.
and you're going to love this, the jury instructions. And I'm just going to read them out for you because
Oh, we got them.
we
Okay.
do. And they are flawless. Anyway, elements. The elements of this crime are, first, the defendant, Shiloh, to note, the defendant engaged in offensive, obscene, abusive, boisterous, or noisy conduct in an offensive, obscene, or abusive language tending reasonably to arouse alarm, anger, or resentment in others. If you find that the defendant's conduct was only of offensive, obscene, or abusive language, you must also find that the words used were, quote, fighting words. Speech is not, quote, fighting words merely because it is racist. Quote, fighting words are words that constitute personally offensive epithets that, when spoken to the ordinary person under the particular circumstances of the case, are, as a matter of common knowledge, inherently likely to provoke a violent reaction or incite an immediate breach of the peace by those to whom such words are addressed. The offense may be based upon the utterance of fighting words alone, without resulting in actual violence. The focus upon the nature of the words and the circumstance in which they were spoken, rather than upon the actual response. Second, the defendant knew or believed or had reasonable grounds to know that the conduct would or could tend to alarm, anger, disturb, provoke an assault by, or provoke a breach of the peace by others. Third, the defendant's act took place in a public or private place. Fourth, the defendant's act took place on or about April 28th, 2025 in Olmsted County. If you find that each of these elements has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, the defendant is guilty. If you find that any element has not been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, the defendant is not guilty. Long and short here, if you say a word to a person that is not white, and you are white, you exist in a separate system of legality and justice.
No, that is absolutely not what the instructions just said.
No, that's what they imply.
No, that's not what they imply.
Yeah, it is. But anyway,
That's what the outcome implies. That's not what the jury instructions.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Go on. I mean, that's how I read it. Go on.
That's fair, but like I'm saying, like the point, like reverse the characters in this story here, and the same exact jury instructions tell me the same exact thing.
And everyone laughs at them.
That's irrelevant. That's outside the instructions. The instructions
It is.
Are the instructions.
Oh yeah, no, the instructions are quite outside the matter
issue.
of facts and
the instructions
and
are not the issue.
They are an issue, but yes, absolutely.
No, they're not. The instructions aren't the issue. The way the law is being applied by the judge, frankly, is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like the fact that the state is prosecuting the one while not prosecuting the other for the exact same circumstance, frankly, is ridiculous. Like, there's no discretionary distinguishing between the two unless you're going to admit that the people involved are just racist. Because that's, by their actions, what's happening here. And by every fucking definition of the word, including the common truncation of the phrase systemic racism to just racism. That is exactly what's going on here. The people with the power are discriminating unfairly, key word there, discriminating unfairly on the basis of race between the two.
Oh, that's a true statement.
And the primary aggressor in this situation was not the person who was being prosecuted, which makes it even more egregious.
It does.
That's specifically the issues that are at play here. And again, this is a very cut and dry First Amendment issue.
It should
frankly,
be.
the major issue that I'm seeing here is that this farce happened, and the other guy wasn't brought up on assault charges. We're going after her like that.
Yep.
Because
never minding the prior charges.
You do not need to commit battery to commit assault, and he clearly assaulted her.
Indeed he did.
Like, he recorded himself doing it. This
Never minding
should not have
recording the
been
kids.
this like, she should have left, but had she known he wasn't going to hit her or whatever, or had she had that error in judgment, calling the police and having them show up right there and then at the scene of the crime. Like, he was already assaulting her, so I can see why she just tried to get the hell away from him. But at the same time, this is ridiculous.
Completely.
On so many fucking levels.
Completely ridiculous. That's exactly what it is.
But again, like, there is... The thing it comes down to is she is being treated differently, specifically on the basis of her race.
Yes. That is exactly
really
what's
disgusting.
occurring.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
again, like I said, the jury instructions are on the basis of the laws in play, which is fine. The judge is clearly a racist asshole as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not surprised because it's fucking Minnesota, but like this is not the way Americans are supposed to be treated in America. Period.
Well, you could say that this sort of activity is something that you would not see, and it could lead to all sorts of people not seeing lots of things. You know.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of things.
Now, the other side of this, the other interesting thing here, the cameraman, didn't testify. And why was that?
Probably had something to do with raping kids, but
Well, the other side of that would be he wasn't in the fucking country.
Also fair point. Yeah, I mean that does have a little something to do with it.
Testify.
Yeah, it would be difficult to testify when you're fleeing
in Somalia.
The country in Somalia, where you're supposed to be a refugee from. That's weird. Huh.
Like, this is a person who is supposed to be sympathetic in the eyes of the jury, and he can't even bother to fucking show up. Like,
well,
I don't understand.
Worry. The judge was all good with it, and went ahead and took care of it for him, so no problem.
Yeah, you're right. So, like, I understand, like, in the case of, say, like, a rape, where we have rules where you don't have to face your rapist and re-traumatize yourself. Like, I get that. This is a person who assaulted someone else, got called a word that he asked to be called, and then he fucked off to another continent.
Yeah. That would be a pretty accurate summation of the situation.
Like, it is bewildering that a person could sit down, look at these instructions, and here's the other thing is I could see them following the instructions through the letter, and against my own personal preference, coming down on the side of guilty for both. And that would be an outrage, but like, it would be consistent.
Yeah.
I could see them doing the reasonable thing and saying not guilty on both.
Oh yeah, again, we're going to split the baby down the middle. It's like, okay, well, all right, fair, fine. All right, Solomon.
So what this tells me is that there was probably some fucking liberal retard who was part of the jury who said, okay, let's get out of here tonight.
Or the judge.
Or the judge was involved somehow. Which I don't either 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Some retard was involved who probably thought it was fair that she get one charge and not the other. That part is... May they never be judged by people as stupid as them. You have to wish goodwill into the world, otherwise it's all just evil thoughts.
Yeah, it's something. It's the world of today, I guess.
And it's also a personal benefit there, because if there's nobody who's going to treat them as badly as they treated others, then that means there's only one person who's going to treat me as badly as they treat others. And that's them. I can just stay away from.
Oh, hey, on that note...
You can just logic yourself into good altruistic thoughts. That's all you have to do. Selfish altruism.
Yeah, we'll
make the world a better place for yourself and everyone else at the same time.
By first principles. Yeah. My. Oh, but
If only they had such thoughts themselves, right?
right. Well,
Fucking fun.
speaking of rediscovering evil by first principles, you may have seen some of the more recent, well, one specifically, new drone video out of the Ukrainian ops, where they
No, but I heard another car was killing people. I guess we'll get to that afterwards.
yeah, well, we'll get to that.
So tell me about the Ukrainian.
Well,
drone thing.
it's just a real quick. It's just as we have been, we're following this, and
Uh-huh.
kind of documenting
Well,
the
I mean,
downfall of
you're-
humanity as brother kills brother, and all humanity is lost from the world. So anyway, one of the drone strike guys there, one of the drone operators, was like, oh hey, look, a gas station. I'm going to target some civilian automobiles, and then did, and thought,
Oh.
what a great idea. This is good video. I'm going to post it on the internet so that everybody can see my war crimes. And did. There's your update.
Well, yeah.
So yeah,
Unfortunate.
just more fucking war crimes. Great. So anyway, Bats had some good stuff for us, which will give us a nice change
Well,
of pace
let's-
from this kind of ugly news we've had to talk
Let's
about.
wrap.
tonight.
Let's wrap that part up first. Because I mentioned it already. We'll dive through it and be done with it.
Nothing more to it.
In
unfortunately.
Germany, they're celebrating lifestyle choices,
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess since we are talking
and
about
then an
vehicles,
Allahu
and,
Akbar happens.
yeah, we should probably mention vehicles that get filled up and then drive places. So yeah. Sometimes,
no
sometime in
mention of
Germany,
a driver or anything.
well, actually, there is actually no driver anymore, technically, because anyone who might have been driving that peaceful truck is not a living person any longer, having been shot by the police in their search for
I
him.
mean, and they did their fucking job. Now this is a change of pace in Germany.
A little bit. It's a complete change of pace. So timeline,
Yeah,
real
because
quick,
normally
because a
they're
lot of
getting
people
in the
aren't going to
way of
have
the
this. I have a complete timeline. I don't have exact times, but I have everything that went down. So this guy gets in a van or a transit van, or one of those style of vehicles.
The Allahu Akbar out the top.
Yeah, right out the gate. Yeah, just so you know, actually was shouting it. So he rams a bunch of people. I believe 11 injured, 1 dead, possibly more. Still waiting on updates on those numbers.
Yeah.
Gets out, has a blade of some variety, hasn't been described. Probably just a large kitchen knife, considering, but who fucking knows? And starts stabbing
be a
people and
Kirpan.
everything.
You never know.
Could be a Kirpan. Yeah.
No. They don't Allahu Akbar. But that as facetious as that was, they don't Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. No. They just do it for the love of the game. It's not a religious thing. It's just like.
It's just war.
Yeah, it's like, sometimes you wake up and you're hungry in the morning and you eat breakfast. It's just what you do. So anyway,
Yeah, how does it feel if you didn't do that?
this guy, Abdul, he, and I believe it actually is Abdul. I could be a little mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that was his name. Anyway,
I think so.
he runs down a bunch of innocent people there at a pride parade in Germany, and then hops out of his vehicle, starts going all stabby stab.
In contrast, at least his first name isn't Jihad
Or Muhammad.
or Muhammad.
That's, baby steps, I guess.
Yeah, considering we've had one of those already. Both of those already.
Oh, you mean the baby steps? Where they get stepped on
No.
or stabbed? Oof.
No.
Anyway.
I mean the Muhammad Jihad.
Oh, right. Yeah, because that is unfortunately a literal thing.
Yeah, that happens.
An exact literal thing.
Yeah, just alrighty. Muhammad Holy War. I guess that's a name.
Yeah, that's a choice. That is a choice. Oh, speaking of choices, just since I'm thinking about it, and before I forget, should mention, just as a by-the-by, in the Shiloh Hendrix case, that the lawyer did try to bring up the fact that, that perjury was committed, and that it's a felony punishable by up to 5 years in jail. And
Repeated perjury, too.
Numerous instances this has occurred, but unfortunately, the judge, threatened to imprison the lawyer if he kept bringing up the fact that
Well, that can be
the
it can be
assaulter
handled in appeal.
was guilty
I hope this
of that.
dumb bitch gets off the bench. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
anyway.
I cannot believe that someone like this persists. I mean, I understand it's a state court instead of a district court, but like, holy shit! Like, I hope on appeal, like maybe the lawyer will pull some legal kung fu and get them removed to a district court instead, because like this is ludicrous. And if the locality is being adversarial against the law, not against the party, like if the state government is actively subverting constitutional protections, then a district court is the place to go to, or district or appellate. But I think district would handle the appeal. I don't know exactly how that goes, but it would be one of the two. Like it'd probably be a big ask, but like if they take it to the state Supreme Court, the next step is SCOTUS.
It is, and that's a
that's
it should
time.
be an open and shut case, but we'll see.
That's a very long time. Yes, and you have Ketanji on there who would say stupid shit for months.
True, but you could
again. You don't have to like
the
Shiloh
fun thing
to
about
recognize
the fun thing about
screwed.
Ketanji though is that you can completely get her into a corner with civil rights questions. Because you say, oh, okay, so it's totally okay to say this about black people. And so, well, no, you can't do that. It's like, oh, okay, so you can't do that. Well, you can do that. Oh, okay, so it's totally okay to say it about black people. No, it's not okay to say it about black people. So it's not okay. Well, I guess, so you can't say that about black people. Right. So if you can't say it about black people, you can't say it about yellow people. Right. So if you can't say it about black people and yellow people, you can't say it about red people. Right. Okay, so if you can't say about black people and yellow people and red people...
Oh, you're not expecting her to see you like as like the same status as a black person, are you?
Oh, God, no. I'd expect her to completely subjugate me and probably take away all my my lands, reservations, and or casino winnings. But it is what it is.
All right, motherfucker. Now you're playing, now you're dancing on fire. You got casino winnings?
Sir.
And you're not...
Heel toe?
You got...
Heel
where
toe.
the fuck's my money?
Heel toe. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so our man Bats had something actually related to this, kind of vaguely, and that is people, not doing their jobs, or doing exactly their jobs as we always expected. So there's this thing, the SAVE Act. You may have heard of it. Only 82% of Americans support it being put into law. And, it's kind of the law everywhere on the fucking face of the earth that has elections. But whatever.
Except here.
6 of one, half guangoggle of the other, I guess. I know that's not a word. I had to make something up because this shit is so retarded. So we have a number of senators who feel that the appropriate thing to do in a situation such as this is to go on vacation. Just head on home. Do nothing. And that is, unfortunately, all but 4. So instead of listing out every fucking piece of shit that Orcs in the Senate, I'll just go ahead and give you the 4 that aren't pieces of shit, because unfortunately that's all there is. That's going to be Mike Lee, Rick Scott, Jim Banks, and Ashley Moody. That's it. Sorry. I wish I could give you a longer list of people that aren't absolute fucking gutter trash garbage. What?
This is on committee, or this is what?
No, this is of the members of the Senate that support canceling the recess and staying in D.C. until SAVE gets passed.
Well, I don't see anybody, rushing to stay here, or stay there rather.
Well, no, there's 4. And that's all. There are 4 senators.
What I'm saying is,
only.
It's like, it's normal for them to take their recess.
It is. That's true. It's normal for them to shirk their duties.
That's the thing is if it was...
It is achingly normal, Steve. Where are you at, Steve? Come on. Get in here. He would have something to say. Anyway, it is absolutely achingly normal for this to happen, okay? I mean, honestly, this is so much par for the course that
I'm thinking
I'm,
there's got to be
I'm
a
almost
reasonable
so
number.
tired that I don't even realize I'm tired anymore.
I'm thinking that Congress critters ought to be held to the American ideal, or American standard, rather.
It'd be nice.
You get 2 weeks of paid vacation, you get a week of sick days, and then you have to be your ass in the chair 49 weeks of the year. 50 if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like expected 50, definitely need 49. Otherwise, you get fired.
That'd be nice.
That should be how many, and in the chair, meaning like in their office for office hours, or in the chambers, or
you better be having lunch
chamber.
somewhere in D.C.
Yeah, like hell, even if you're on a business trip elsewhere for your job in Congress,
Okay,
it
fair.
better be being paid for by the taxpayers for a specified purpose. Like if you're in transit to another location for a specified named routine purpose that is part of your charge duty of carrying out your law-abiding, your legislative actions. Like you should be doing your on-the-dime diligence from 9 to 5 or whatever it is. Even allow them to have overtime pay. Do time and a half for specific purposes. Partly because they'll cut down the amount of hours that they could actually claim. Because boy, would they start claiming all the hours as soon as they got paid hourly. But still, just rein that shit in a way that actually compels them to be there. Because
I mean, shit, bring back time cards and a physical fucking punch clock for these fuckers.
Well, you see, I like because it's like in Texas, they had the one person who tried to run out and they fucking pushed out the the hell's it called? The summons order. Basically, their contempt of Congress.
Oh yeah, we reported on that. That was funny.
Exactly.
Because just a quick reminder, old dude was like, "Now, if you're coming for me, I'm going to recommend that you send only unmarried men and older men with nothing to lose." And that's how you do it. If you're going to do it, just go all
in. Yeah. So I think because again, I think there should be reasonable recess for these positions. Now, keep in mind, part of the recess in the first place was that these people could continue doing their business.
Yeah, go back home and do the job that you've left to do this one because you weren't making buku fucking dollars being in Congress or Senate.
Right. Seeing as that's not the fucking case, either they need to eliminate the recess or they need to lower the pay.
That's fair.
I mean, that would be...
And, just to be reasonable,
simplest thing.
Because at the end of the day, these people are required to stay in D.C., and let's be honest, D.C. is an incredibly expensive city to live in.
I think it should be in bunk beds.
What we do, we're already building the ballroom, right? So what we do is we build the senatorial and congressional dormitories so that these people have a place to go and stay at all times at no cost to them in Washington, D.C., and they don't have to be concerned about it. Problem solved.
These motherfuckers are doing nothing nearly as hard as the shit I did in undergrad. For certain.
Never minding all the trips to Comet Ping Pong and Pizza. Cough.
I mean, the alternative here, in my opinion, would be to just put a cot in their offices.
The funny thing the funny thing about that, there's like 3 or 4 that genuinely actually do that.
Right. Well, I know that. I'm just saying, this, they already get so much office space and this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, see, the problem is they've forgotten the notion that you respect the office, not necessarily the person in it. All the facetiousness aside, you respect the office. The office they hold is important. They aren't. They're an American citizen. That's as important as they get to be.
Yep.
That's the entire purpose of this fucking country, is that nobody's above the law.
Button presser. You get to go and press the buttons that we tell you to press because we elected you to press them. That's your job. Right, do it.
And if they can't do it, or they think they're better than everybody else, well, then they can sit out on the curb.
Mm-hmm.
No hard feelings on that one. Nothing personal. Just do the job or don't do it.
Right. Well, speaking of doing the job or not doing the job, we should probably scroll back just a little bit real quick because, we're not done. We're not done with the Shiloh Hendrix case. Well, we are, but we've got a little bit more background, a little bit more context to make it all fit together like a nice little puzzle for you. So, Judge Krista Daly, Judge Krista Daly, burn that one into your mind so that if ever you encounter her, you get far away.
Boy. Me and my fucking disturbed mind daily and nightly.
Well, anyway,
sorry, keep going.
Judge Daly, there's a man by the name of Thomas Meyer. You've probably never heard of him because nothing really happened and no one said anything because why would they? Who cares? It's just a guy who has thousands of images of sexual abuse of young children. Who cares about that? Something like that? Well, if you're Judge Krista Daly, that only deserves about 100 hours of community service and a class on why you shouldn't be doing that. Now, if you happen to say the magic fucking word, you need 200 hours of community service and a $1,000 fine. Because that's a graver crime indeed than encouraging the abuse of children.
It's fucking clown world.
Protecting children from being abused is a greater crime in Judge Krista Daly's court than promoting child abuse. Make of it what you will, but that is the state of the courts of Minnesota. Lovely, no? Speaking of courts, we reported on this one last time about the absolute overwhelming numbers of white crimes in America.
Uh-huh.
And it would appear that, at least one court has decided that, that's uncomfortable. Out of Baldwin County, I believe Colorado, they started scrubbing the images from their booking records, if you can believe that.
Is that legal?
That's a good question.
I know that they're not. I think they're not necessarily. I think they're not necessarily required to show images. But I don't know if taking them down after the fact, unless it's a policy thing and not a law thing.
Kind of looking a little bit policy because according to Liberty Dagger here, I'll throw the link down below. He actually gave him a call. Now, according to him here, he says, "I just got off the phone with the jail. They put me on speakerphone and collectively called me racist and eventually hung up on me."
Well, that's unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something.
That's kind of rude.
A little bit. Definitely unprofessional. I would definitely describe that as an unprofessional act.
That sounds to me a bit like fighting words. I don't know about you.
You could definitely describe it that way. That is definitely a not unreasonable description.
Because I gotta tell you, I take being called a racist rather seriously when it comes from somebody who's in a position to be a real pain in the ass to me like that.
One of the, as I'm looking through the
really
scroll, because
nice
he's got a 47-second video just scrolling through the list. A really fascinating thing that I'm seeing on here is that the arresting agency of a lot of these white men and women is listed as U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement with immigration-related charges for all of these quote-unquote white peoples.
Now, we talked about this before, the U.S., the census definition of what constitutes white includes a lot of places that you wouldn't necessarily assume are people who are white.
Indeed.
So, you got to temper your expectations on some of that. And then there's the whole discrepancy between race and ethnicity. And for whatever reason, they remain separate categories.
Oh, like gender and sex. Tee-hee.
Well, that's different.
Of course.
Again, gender is not recorded. Sex is. Because that actually matters.
I mean, you could put it down as the same thing because it's, like saying dozen or 12.
Well, again,
Whichever word you prefer. There is no difference. There is a binary.
You have to take these people. You have to take these people at their word when they describe these things. I can tell you, if you do not.
Oh no, you absolutely have to take them at their word. Otherwise, you are going to be completely confounded by trying to make sense of it.
Or shot.
Or shot.
I mean, it's gallows humor, but it's true.
Yeah. I wish that were a joke.
Trains your kids or I'll kill you. Yeah, okay.
That's pretty much the argument.
No, that's still like the if sex is your body's biology and gender is your mental states, the gender does not really matter. It's also not directly observable. So it's about as unobjective or non-objective as they come. So not really something that matters.
True. You know what else in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter? The political leanings of a voice actor. So on that note,
right.
you
so
may
why we're going to make it important?
Oh, well, we aren't actually. Somebody else is. We're just here to share the information because
we're just here to talk about it.
Absolutely. We do commentary, we do reporting. We are a journalistic outlet over here. Commentary as well, but hey,
I don't know when the fuck that happened, but I'm rolling with it.
Hey, look, when the world went crazy, some of us managed to maintain some spark of sanity, and we have got to be here to try and share it with the rest. However...
Yeah, be happy, just like us, motherfucker.
Everything is great. Anyway. So, you may have heard of a cartoon. We've actually discussed it a time or two. Not in any great detail. It was just more of a mention here and there. But it has kind of a progressive vibe, many would say. That being Steven Universe, and of course, anybody hearing this is like, "Well, yeah, that's a pretty progressive cartoon that you're talking about there, Evan." Well, yeah, it is. So, interestingly enough, one of the main actors, or voice actors, I should say, Dee Dee Magno Hall, is the actress of Pearl, which is one of the they're like gems or something. I can't remember exactly what it is. They got like superpowers or some shit. And she is one of those. And apparently she supported Charlie Kirk in his life and his family following his absolutely tragic assassination. Probably not with a Rode microphone. Come on. Anyway. Probably with a 30-06, let's be real. Anyway.
You mean the one with his fingerprints on it that his grandfather certified was his, that he'd given to him, or that he had taken, or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, that used one of the soft points that is known to mushroom and dump basically
the one that had
all
the
of its
case
energy.
still inside the thing because he didn't rack it.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. It's
The one he
again,
told his,
it certainly seems that things
Sorry, I just wanna
are
make sure we're all
open
on the
shut
same
on
page
that,
on that one.
and I would also I would say that it look, if you're carrying a pager, be extra careful, okay? But if you're wearing a Rode mic, them bitches is real tiny. I think your neck is going to be okay. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to delve too deep into these waters because they are murky as fuck, and I have no desire to get lured into all
you're
this,
gonna be fine.
as it were.
Candace Owens can't touch you in real life.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I'll be honest. I wouldn't mind, carving off some of the audience because get over here. We tell you the truth. We like to tell the truth. We like to not lie. It's good stuff. Get in here.
Oh, we can pronounce words too.
True. More gooder than others.
Those reels are a guilty pleasure.
And we have from day one not supported building apps that dox and build social credit scores for random internet users. Cough, cough. Candace, cough, cough.
Oh my God. Oh, she's dealing with her own social autopsy. It really is quite
she certainly is. She certainly is. Well, anyway, moving on along with that one, because there's not a lot to say. Just basically, this voice actress is just she's catching hell because she's a normal fucking person, which, of course, she is.
That's
a
very
normal
rare
fucking
in that
person
industry,
is,
frankly.
Yeah, actually, which is
just very sad.
Truly,
but it's true.
Truly, and not even like. I mean, we're not even talking like Pearl hates Jews Groiper or anything. Just some rando normie that's like, hey, we should probably.
That's an interesting pick you had there, because Groipers didn't like Charlie Kirk.
That makes it funnier. Although that does make it a bit more of an in-joke. Either way, it's funny. It's funny if you don't know enough, and it's funny if you know a lot. But if you're like kind of in the midwit level, which, man, I fucking hate to say this, but our show isn't made for midwits. It's made for smart people and dumb people. And I'm actually completely okay with that, because if we can hit
for everyone.
Well, it is because if you can hit dumb people
just don't know it
and
yet.
You can hit smart people, then midwits have the capacity to process the data. They just have to, fire off that fourth or fifth neuron. But nonetheless.
And if you're listening to this right now,
you are in the upper percentile of the intelligence quotient. That's where you are. You might think, am I a dumb guy? No, you're listening to smart stuff and you're learning. So you're not, as a matter of fact, a dumb guy. You're a smart guy. Or, I know there's not a large portion, but I do know, surprisingly, that, legitimately, what is it? I think something like 20% of our audience is female, which is for the kind of stuff we do.
I have a great voice.
I've been told that my voice is pretty nice, too. But,
I've just got a face for radio, that's all.
So they say.
And a voice for print.
So they say. So they say.
Face for radio and a voice for print.
Actually, I'm told I have a voice for radio. Maybe a face, too. But, hey, 2 out of 2 ain't bad, right?
I mean, you did have prior experience effectively DJing, so
that's true. That's true. Well, anyway, moving on along to some actually potentially good news, because believe it or not, your humble host has been consuming bits and pieces of modern media. I know. There is actually still a sun up there. There's still a moon up there. They haven't fallen. I made the
grave on their strings, though. Good God,
grave error of seeing Guillermo del Toro's fucking Frankenstein abomination. Never ever see that. It almost made me want to never see anything made by anyone ever again. Ever. It is so bad. It is probably the worst film I've ever seen in my life ever. Never see it.
Which one?
It's his fucking Frankenstein thing, the Del Toro one. It's so fucking dog shit.
All right. We're not talking about I, Frankenstein, right?
I don't know what it is. It's like set in the Victorian era or whatever. So
okay, definitely not then.
No.
Good.
No, I will say this. Like, as I was watching the movie, as I was fucking watching this dog shit piece of fucking filth, I was getting to scenes. It's like, okay, what's the fucking dumbest fucking, like, completely idiotic bullshit I can think of? And I was like, because I was watching it with some friends, I was like, oh, this is what's going to happen next. And it fucking does. And it does every fucking time, Craig. Every time, Craig. It's like, he's going to do this. And it was like, and it was the fucking most stupid, fucking most idiotic shit that I could bring to my mind. Like, okay, what is the stupidest thing that would make this movie even fucking dumber and worse? Every time, Craig. Every fucking time. How? How do you do that? Oh, Anyway,
Great dedication and patience.
I'm telling you, it takes a fucking like a dedication to craft that is beyond me. Like Guillermo del Toro, like I don't. I'm gonna fucking call this dude Guillermo El Toro going forward because he is on fucking tequila always. Has to be. That's it. Anyway. For real, dude. That movie made me hate films so fucking bad. I watched it right after watching Citizen Vigilante, so it was like,
okay.
If I hadn't watched Citizen Vigilante before that, it's like I would just never watch another anything ever. No television, no movies, no nothing. It would all be dead to me. Thank fuck I had that saving grace going into it. So, speaking of saving graces, we've got something interesting coming up as a Christmas movie. And it's a retelling, not a modernization, just a retelling in context. It looks a little bit more comedic than many other retellings. Like, for instance, what was the one? Bill Murray, I believe, did Scrooged. Yeah, it's like where Scrooged is a modern telling of the story. Ebenezer, this one,
yes.
Ebenezer is a kind of a Victorian retelling of A Christmas Carol. And
that's more appropriate.
It looks pretty good, actually. I mean, it looks decidedly more comedic than the source material, but it actually looks pretty good. It looks like a pretty wholesome Christmas movie.
Historically, a comedic retelling on Christmas Carol has been not just more successful, but also more in kind with with some of the original intent, the wholesome,
more respectful. Definitely, it appreciates its source material more. Perfect example, Muppet Christmas Carol. It's it's a Muppet thing, but it's a good Christmas Carol. And this, at least based on the trailer that I saw dropped over the last week, it looks like they're trying to be honest with the story and just tell it in maybe a little bit different of a way without making it for the modern audiences and ruining everything. And well, that I wholeheartedly support.
It's amazing how that one phrase has characterized such a decline.
Indeed. 2 words. Just the 2 words. Modern audiences. That alone. Just that is
fucked it up for the modern audience.
Absolutely.
Hope you come by it.
Be it a game, be it a movie, be it a re-release of a book, be it the censoring of an old book that's been around for forever. Whatever the thing may be, it's always if you see
reinterpretation of a fucking myth, specifically to make a shit movie.
Right, because you need to hit certain diversity quotas, otherwise you're not going to get an Academy Award.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's something. It is something. I will say
the definition of diversity hire, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so on the opposite end,
exactly how shit those actors feel until the check clears.
So on the opposite end of that, I am loath to give the small amount of money I have to any kind of theater because I've got this whole more than a decade long of literal hatred and disdain for everything they do. So, I'm working on that. That said, the Backrooms came across my timeline on Twitter, X if you like.
Uh-huh.
And so I popped that boy open in another window, watched it through, and by golly, it's a pretty solid movie.
Did it?
Yeah, it's totally okay. Kane Pixels did a great job. Kane Parsons, I should say. His YouTube thing is Kane Pixels. Yeah. But Mr. Parsons, he did a very stand-up job with that material. Now, having said that, we've already started to see some, I would say distressing, but again, my disdain for Hollywood cannot be underscored to any adequate level, so I'm utterly unsurprised. That is that they're scouring Reddit for stories to tell on the big screen. Oh, you fucking idiots.
Oh, God.
Oh, you fucking folded in half idiots.
Could you imagine if they decide to do a fucking SCP movie? Because the
There's
video
so
games
much
that are out
potential
there
there.
for Backrooms are largely they largely incorporate SCP lore at this point.
Mm-hmm. True.
And oh man, like I will just point people back to the Internet Aristocrat days of the Strometiker, our dear friend of the channel, Jim, and his exploration of what it meant to be a member of the SCP Wiki.
A doorknob with pronouns. Yep.
Being humped by one of the editors, I guess.
Also that.
Yeah, it's
Also
like
that.
in going closer to home on my end, as far as like the fandoms go, it's like not saying I ever was a part of it, just a member, just a fan like many around the world of the genre Pokemon, the Bulbapedia Chronicles. These people are daily proving why asylums need to be reopened
Truly.
and populated.
Not
by
sparsely.
force.
Not sparsely.
I just
No,
yes.
there's.
Why the fuck does a doorknob need pronouns? Man, come the fuck on.
Well, maybe you've heard of mental illness, Greg.
I mean,
Maybe
to
you've
be
heard of the
fair-
DSM-5.
To be fair, they are dealing with a fantastical phenomena. But I'd have to search for it to quote it. But you can handle the fantasy setting with the elves and dwarves and men fighting each other on the fields of yore to the death in the name of kings long forgotten that never existed. But you can't handle a Series 5 BMW with heated seats on subscription?
Truly.
to fucking paraphrase the original.
Yeah, no,
It's-
that's where it is. That's where we are.
Oh my god. It's like, you know what? In the SCP universe, no pronouns. Fuck you. Everyone uses the name. Even pronouns like the are verboten.
Now, that said,
Or,
what's going to happen is the loud voices are going to take the Odyssey and whatever success it can scrape together, and they're going to use that as an example. But the problem of it is, the names.
well, it's gonna win all those awards, right?
Well, it will, and
That's the thing.
that's just a given. But I say the
That's the
voices specifically for a reason, because the voices will continue saying the words that they often say. The names, however, the names that matter, the ones that make the decisions, we've already seen a shift, and we will continue. However, this just tells us that they're not really all in on making money. They definitely want their narrative, but they realize that their narrative will destroy them and will tear them down. So I think necessarily we're going to see a little bit of give. We're going to see some things that aren't garbage, that are just stories, that are stories to be told and appreciated. Now, are they going to sneak in some garbage every single chance they get? Yes, absolutely. But there is now an open door through which art can pass.
Go back room.
yeah, there's that too. yeah. You can no clip into making a good movie, just maybe. Who knows? Because that's kind of what it takes. Anyway.
So you gotta,
speaking
you
of
gotta
good
link to
movies.
that.
Speaking of
Do
good
you have
movies.
a link to that copy, by the way?
Oh, it's not around anymore. None of them
Ah.
seem to last more than about a day, unfortunately. If one pops up, though, I will link you. And I'll be honest.
Amazon's demanding $25, $20 to fucking air quotes rent it.
Yeah.
It's like it's already fucking rented by the contract I signed, motherfucker.
Also that. So if I see a link, it'll be available in the Discord, because the last one was. It's just they don't last, being what it is,
Well, they wouldn't.
and I wouldn't expect them to. Let's be honest. Twitter is a
Well,
bit
I'm
of
thinking try
a,
before buy here is the only thing that I'm keen on.
but
Like,
as I said,
I fully believe in the principle, and that like if I do enjoy a movie that I happen to see in a way that I may or may not like be authorized to, I always like if it's something that I truly enjoyed, it's the product I believe in, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna find a way to pay
well,
for it.
case in point, something that we talked about early in the show, years back now,
I'm not paying
is
$25 for digital download or digital
sure,
viewing rather for streaming a fucking
absolutely. Well, again,
10 bucks,
just as I
fine.
was saying, something that we talked about long ago on the show, years back now, is a movie that made itself by piracy. Inc. Excellent movie.
Oh, yeah, that was a
And
good movie.
and had pirates not taken it up, it would just have languished, maybe never to have been properly discovered and become the absolute cult
That's true.
classic that it is now.
Very true.
And the director and production staff, they all but confirmed that they were responsible for some of the copies that were out there, because they knew full and well what that did. When
Yeah,
you've made something good and people see it and can appreciate that you've made a good thing, not all of them, for one, are going to be in a position to help you, and for two, are going to want to. But
yeah.
some of them are.
Not all
Some of those
lost
people that
copies
you
are
were
sales.
never, ever going to reach anyway, ever at all, are going to say, hey, I like this. I want this to do well. I am going to support this. Whether it be a game, a movie, a book, what have you. And that's precisely what happened with Ink. And it's genuinely good. And, well, I if that's what it takes, then I guess that's what it takes. Maybe, maybe some intrepid soul is willing to build a burner account, upload something to Twitter or X if you like, and just share it with the world. Yeah, they're breaking the rules, but if you get
They are.
eyes on something that otherwise would never fall upon the thing, well, you really haven't lost anything. And speaking of eyes falling upon things, there's something else we talked about just, I believe, about 2 weeks back. And that was a young man by the name of Cody Harper, a young British man by the name of Cody Harper, that was assaulted by a group of feral teens, we'll say, and defended himself as best he was able, but was beaten to the ground, and then was charged by 2 woman bobbies, police officers, if you prefer. And, in doing so, he kind of threw up his arms, tried to defend himself against these new people that were attacking him. And, of course, he was then thoroughly done up, as they say, in Bongistan. So, put away, locked up, put in handcuffs, going to be arrested, going to be was arrested, was jailed, going to have the book thrown at him, the whole shebang. Well, I've got quite the update. And that update is nothing. The assault charges are dropped. Cody Harper is a free man. But unfortunately, I have another update, and that is the attackers, no charges, not been detained, not looking for them. Boys will be boys,
No.
But, hey, that's a step in the right direction, all things considered. I mean, we are talking about the once Great Britain. So, anything to
Right.
help relieve
We
some of
are at an hour, and I do need to go
Ah,
at 11:30.
fair
I
enough.
know.
Fair enough. Got to make it an early night, I suppose. Well, I've got a few
It
things.
is. It is one of those nights. So I'll bow out.
Well, have you got anything you were wanting to hit before you hit the road?
Not off the top of my head. But I'll bow out and wish everyone a great week. And stay safe out there.
Absolutely. Well, sir, you be safe. You have an
Good one.
excellent week going forward. So, everybody, you can find my man Craig there at CraigBob99 on the Twitters. As I was talking about, our good friend Steve is not with us tonight. Who knows? Might join us before I close out the show. Find him at Ratman720. But with that said, I do have plenty more that I can go through for the night. So as we say, thank you, Craig, for being with us tonight. So let's let's do this thing solo. I've actually got a little bit for you, so we'll keep it up a minute, and I'll share the high points as I'm able. So, what do we got? Well, we've got an NDAA that they felt would be prudent to attach Section 219. Of course, Section 219 is the U.S. and Israeli military merger. So, yes, it has happened, and it is fucking dumb. However, it is not as dumb as perhaps many of your talking heads would lead you to believe. It's not really a good thing. We shouldn't be tied at the hip to Israel. But it is essentially just an extension and not an expansion of the current military framework under which things basically run. So, essentially, there's no real change. So make of that what you will, but it's not as doom and gloom as any number of people have made it out to be. It's not good by any means. We shouldn't be tied at the hip to any military or country. Honestly, even, Japan, as good an ally as they are. It's just the way it is. America could and should be militarily absolutely independent. But, it is what it is. We are where we are, so. What am I going to tell you? It is what it fucking is. That's all I got to tell you. I would like for our military to be independent. And to be fair, there is some work done to those ends, and Generation Z and Generation Alpha are probably some of the most isolationist as political leanings go in probably since the 50s. And America needs some isolation. I endorse it wholeheartedly. We really need to be less in other people's business. But that's another matter. Speaking of being in other people's business, got a little bit of flock info for you. So, there is something called DFlock. Let me see if I can find a link to the website itself. There we are. DFlock. Of course, I'll be using Start Page, which, interestingly enough, I'm actually hearing ads on the radio. How cool is that? So Start Page is actually growing. Cool stuff. Anyway, dflock.org. You can go there, and it's a great place to just get some pertinent information on flock cameras, their locations, mounts, just that sort of thing. And, well, it's a good thing to keep your eyes on, keep your ears on, and be aware of. Flock cameras being problematic. So, let's do some numbers. $3,000 a year per camera, nationwide. As of right now, let me see. What's the total number today? 121,464. Let's see, 121,464 at 3,000 a month is $364,392,000. That is a very noteworthy sum of money. Pretty well enough to make anyone reconsider any morals or ethics they might ever have had. So, dflock.org. That will definitely be in the links below so that you can be on there as well. It also keeps an eye on the cities that have said no. As of this time, what have we got? 94. It's a good number. I'd like to see that number grow. most certainly would. But, every step we take is a step in the right direction to get this taxpayer-funded fucking surveillance state undone. This absolute fucking panopticon bullshit. We can't live this way. We can't. It's just utterly inappropriate to human life in general. So, no, says I. Somewhat related. Let's see here. Out of a blog by Stephen Edgington. Let's see here. Okay. So it's based on real good data. So, police were told not to arrest BLM rioters out of a leaked police memo, making them aware that minority communities, American minority communities, obviously, black people being a global majority, that's not really entirely appropriate around the world, but at least here in the States. In this case, actually, though, this one's about the UK. We don't actually have something like this from the States. We've got this one out of what is this? 2024 report by Lord Walney, Governor's Independent Advisor on Political Violence Disruption. Oh, no, that's just a matter of what BLM did to the officers, that is, abuse them, beat them, etc., etc. From the... What was this? Was it like a report that was issued? Internal memo. Okay. So the internal memo said, and I quote, "Be mindful of possible increased tension when interacting with the BAME community." Another portion of that, chase down Whitehall as demonstrator hurls objects and attacks them with sticks and rocks. NPOCC memo stated that for riots to occur, quote, "a significant trigger would need to emerge, for example, quote, the death in police custody of a respected member of the BAME community or of a prominent gang member or significant police altercation protest." So, bullshit. That basically, at the end of the day, basically nothing, literally, at the end of the day, proves that Great Britain the once Great Britain, has specifically a two-tiered police system, and that justice does not exist if you are white in Britain, and that the state largely exists to disenfranchise and disempower you as a person. I wish I could have some better or kinder way of saying that, but that is the whole and complete of the truth. Just the fucking way it is. The bobbies there were worried about, quote, UK community tensions and, quote, large-scale disorder. Well, maybe they could have just done their job and not had to deal with problems that are not of their own making. Speaking of problems not of their own making and hopping back over to Flock here, somebody's been looking around at these guys. And, surprise, surprise, they are, yet again, not all they claim to be. So, someone has been looking at these. I'll throw a link on it. It's HIB Flocked. Have I Been Flocked is the account. That's looking over these guys, what they do. Have they got your data? Just all kinds of interesting little things. Well, they have an item, an expansion, labeled as, quote, external radar. And it doesn't appear to be a fully integrated thing. It's got, a serial number. It's got a QR code you can scan. And, of course, on the side, it's got that interesting cut-down Tree of Liberty. That's the company logo. Perfect, of course. Well, anyway, it has this external radar that does something. What is the something? Well, as of today, no one knows what this external radar does. How very lovely, right? So, what have we got? Anything? Has anybody been able to dig anything up on these? Doesn't appear to be. Oh, so one interesting point is that in some instances of installs, this radar or PIR sensor is not necessarily pointing in the same direction as the camera itself. Absolutely fascinating stuff. But again, another undisclosed capability of this surveillance state panopticon they're building around us. So it's not illegal to throw a paper or plastic bag over some trash you see on the side of the road, because at the end of the day, it could have blown there and could be blown away by that same notion, or be taken off by the next passerby. So do what you will. And speaking of doing what you will, maybe you're, a transgender pedophile that has raped an infant and abused their siblings. Man, I can't really go any deeper into this. Anyway, let's just say you're obviously a dude in a dress that rapes children with the beard and the whole fucking thing. Man, this story is so fucking dark. I don't really even want to. This story's fucking horrible. So, Florney, this rapist and abuser, is an awful monster. Man, I don't want to read off any of this shit. So, I'm not going to. The Redux story that'll be linked below will have all the info on this absolute disgusting monster that deserves whatever justice is available. Long and short of the story, volunteered at a youth shelter, of course, took pictures and posted them of himself pleasuring himself. The police find it, let it be, because, that's fine, I guess, if you're a cop, I guess, or whatever. And then, he, leaves that job, unsurprisingly. Probably didn't last very long after that. You could imagine that some people might feel unsafe in such an environment. Their children, bucking specifically. Anyway, when I got the next most obvious job. No, not a priest. No. We're not going there with this. Because, actually, to be fair, it seems like many of the churches, aside from the Catholic one, are trying to clean up the ranks. Anyway, gets a job as a babysitter, of course. And then, rapes at least one of the infants, and very likely the rest. And then when the infants are brought to court to testify against the man, they are instructed to refer to him with female pronouns. Because, of course, that's just how you do, and how it is. In this world of today, really quite something, isn't it? Really. So, man, what else? Goodness gracious. We could, why don't we? Why don't we talk a little bit about it? Anthony Fauci, he kept a diary. Because, of course, he did. Just like your average old school, high school girl. Elementary school, middle school, what have you. It's quite the trope for your gossipy types to be doing that sort of thing. So, I guess I should be somewhat unsurprised. Anyway, Rand Paul was able to get access to this diary. And I'd like to read a quote from that diary. A quote from January 26, 2020. Now, you'll note that the show came about not too very long thereafter, August of that year. And very early on, we were able to get access to reports of this data, if not the hard data itself. And again, if you'll remember, we were more than happy to share that with you. So I'll just read this quote directly from Anthony Fauci himself. Now we know the market was not the source. It was the amplifier. You don't fucking say, Tony. So, in January of 2020, not long after the Wuhan Games, the initial spread source, were concluded, you knew full and well what had happened, where, how, and the dangers associated with it. But instead, being honest, or doing the right thing, we can't have that now, can we? We can't have that. So let's fast forward just a bit to February 1st, same year, and the proximal origin story. So, of all the 12 scientists that were there, instead of the story, we're told that it was, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We were divided. We weren't all on the same page. Some people thought maybe it did come from the wet market. Maybe some others were from a lab in Wuhan. Who knows? Never minding that the official story has yet to account for the Wuhan Games. Perhaps someday. Nonetheless, of those 12 scientists, 2 thought it was a possibility. Only 2. And I shall again quote Mr. Fauci. The rest felt that deliberate insertion was possible. Possible, you say. How fascinating. How absolutely fascinating. Well, that's only February 1st. How about we fast forward vastly, far, far into the future of 2 days later, February 3rd, and Fauci calls George Gao, China's CDC head, much the same position as Fauci at that time, similar at least, and Gao had confirmed that transmission absolutely possible from people with no symptoms. How long? How very long were we lied to about that one? No. If they're not symptomatic, they're not dangerous. You can't spread it if you're not coughing and wheezing and spreading the COVID germs. Never minding, of course, that you also can't spread it if you're standing in a restaurant and wearing a mask, and another person is sitting in a restaurant not wearing a mask. The sitting person obviously completely immune. Or the individual that happens to be 6 feet away, because that magic number, much like a magic word, makes everything happen. It's all magic, really. Right. So, George Gao, let me see here. Fauci writes that Wuhan officials, quote, did not tell him this, and thus he gave out false information, a lapse that is, quote, likely allowed the outbreak to take hold. So he literally lied. Because we have the data now. So let's fast forward again into the far, far, far future of 9 days later, to the 12th of February 2020. Talks to Larry Kudlow, who asks him when COVID would be doing exactly what it did to our productivity and our economy. Fauci told him, and I quote, I told him that we are okay for now. And this is 9 days after, again, February the 3rd, 9 fucking days after he learned that anyone can spread this goddamn bioweapon. Anyone at all. Anyone, anywhere, anytime. Anyway, there's a bit more to this this thread Rand Paul put together. It's an excellent write-up on all that's happened. I'll be throwing that in the links below. And it just gives you a really good timeline that completely vindicates every single thing we've said from the very get-go. I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing to be proven right that the ones who are meant to protect us, save our lives, lead us and such are, in fact, some of the most evil human beings that have ever lived in the history of fucking history. But here we are. Here we are. So, man, I've got some more not so good stories. Let's see. Let's change pace just a little bit, because I actually have a couple of good ones that we can finish ourselves out with. What'll we do here? What'll we do? How about something about 4chan? That's a fun one. That's a super fun one. Because this is one we've actually been covering. You'll remember the mention of the hamster image that was sent by Mr. Robert Byrne to Ofcom when they demanded monies because you can eat a dick, Ofcom. Well, they spent 480 days and an untold amount of UK taxpayer funding. Oh, is it one? Oh, no, that's what they're asking for. No, sorry. So, an untold amount of taxpayer monies in the attempt to fine 4chan in the amount of 950 Great British pounds. Well, I'll just read you their statement. Their delicious statement. This type of content is illegal in the UK, and in May we found the forum in breach of its duties under the Online Safety Act, fining it £950,000. The forum has previously made changes to restrict access to for people in the UK, but this was not applied consistently. Following further engagement, has now made an additional change that means the vast majority of UK users who do not use a VPN to mask their country to mask their country location can no longer access the site. Also, following our investigation, major search engines have removed links to this forum. Our powers extend only to the design, operation, and use of a service in the UK, and we cannot regulate worldwide use of platforms. You don't fucking say, faggots! Anyway, we have not identified any additional changes that would materially further block access to people in the UK without impacting users globally. You don't fucking say! Anyway, as a result, all possible legal routes under the Online Safety Act have now been exhausted. In other words, Ofcom can eat a fucking dick. And they had to say so in their own words. So sad for you. I am not to say sad for you, just that it is sad for you. I hope you enjoy the taste of penis. Good luck with that. And the many miles of dick that you must now suck. Because you suck. Alright, so, might as well go ahead and delve a little bit into the man-made horrors beyond our reckoning, because that's what we do here. I don't necessarily personally have an issue with it, but we did talk a little bit about this on the last show. Well, we now have a statement from the man himself, which I will include. That's from Brian Johnson. And, of course, on the last show, if I'm not mistaken, we did kind of cover some of the basics of using a throwaway U as a source of spare parts. Well, you know, it works for cars, right? So I'll throw Brian Johnson's tweet up here on that. The long and short here is he wants spare parts, and if a body is to live forever in the current climate and milieu of science, well, you're just going to need spare parts. As close as we are to growing and 3D printing new ones, we just aren't quite there yet. So, as said last week, yep, a little creepy. He has got a clone of himself that is kind of at an in vitro stage at this moment. But I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be... We live in interesting times. Personally, I don't necessarily take an issue with this as long as the clone, shall we say, is handled in an ethical manner and not really fully grown up, you know. And the other, yeah, the name, by the way, it was Abdul, the truck of peace driver out of Germany. Final update appears to be 17 injured, 1 killed. Abdul B. I do not have his last name, but thought I had it right, unsurprisingly. All right, so what else have we got? What else have we got? Goodness. We could discuss the new guy at Cambridge, but I mean, who cares? It's just a DEI hire. Nobody fucking matters, so whatever. What's the next? Oh, some influencer out of Oklahoma, TikTok girl. She had gotten into a bad situation with her husband, had a restraining order against him, and as is the case, a piece of paper is not a magic scroll and is not able to perform magic, sadly. Sarah is dead. Her husband, or estranged husband, or ex-husband, I don't know quite the extent of it, he is dead as well in a murder-suicide because magic pieces of paper generally are not conducive to making you bulletproof. There you go. What's next? Well, we need to fucking switch pages on that because that shit's dark as fuck. And how about we try and close out the show with some good news, because we actually have a little bit. So, where do we go? Well, we could kind of dip into the boorish waters of Twitter, or X if you like. Nikita Beer, not so much specifically and directly, but indirectly at least, because let's be honest, his unjudicious application of force is not the most conducive to platform growth, as it is when you're a hammer, all you see is nails, and the boar does what the boar does, and perhaps he could use a collar. Anyway, X is now investigating foreign influence campaigns on the platform, which I am more than certain you have all encountered in one way or another. But the foreign influencer campaigns are, and I will have you note, undisclosed foreign influencer campaigns, because there are rather a lot of them. Some are honest, and, well, you're actually able to run your grift if you're honest. But if you're not, well, things can become a little complicated. So, what do we got? We've got a little story about Sony, and depending on where you fall, this might be a really cool story. Or it might just be more wood for the fire. So there's a patent that's rolled out. Now, of course, this may or may not end up being a thing, but they're taking your buttons too. Not only can you not have a CD drive, you don't even get to have buttons on your fucking controller. So they've got a patent out for the, as of right now, that would have digital buttons and direction controls. Undoubtedly, some variety of touchscreen. And, well, frankly, I hate it. I hate it. What are you doing? Absolutely. What are you doing, Sony? They need to get the American leadership as far from PlayStation as possible and get it back in the hands of responsible Japanese developers or something. This is too far gone. Far, far too far gone. Ah, my. Me, oh me, oh my. What else do we have? Goodness gracious. We could, Well, there's not really much of a story there, just an opinion piece. A noteworthy opinion, basically, that school should be largely literature and math, and that the literature should be incredibly difficult so that you are left wanting to do math. Well, hey, fair. Completely fair statement. Nothing I can really say about that. Also, speaking of Sony, nothing's really come of it since, but a funny thing happened, and their services went down just a few days ago. And all those folks with all those digital purchases, well, they got to find out what it means when you actually own nothing. Me oh my. So, goodness, there's some James O'Keefe reporting that's happened lately. A leak out of the Pentagon. There's apparently at least some more holdovers from the Biden and prior eras that are looking to undo any and all good works done by Doge and the Trump administration. So I'll just drop a quick link to that, in the show links down below so that you can follow through with that one. As usual, James doing his top-notch reporting. I guess a quick update is worthwhile regarding the Chud the Builder situation. So he was held in a booking cell in the booking area. No bed, no blankets, unclean floors, very unclean floors to the point of being unsanitary. Apparently there were crazy people in there yelling and screaming. And the excuse for this, and the reason for pushing the hearing out about a week and a half from recording now to the August the 6th, was that he, quote, never received the motion. And, of course, this man is being held without bond on charges relating to an unpaid bill for appetizers at a restaurant where he was demanded to leave. Utterly and completely. It is not reasonable. It is not reasonable at all. So, speaking of unreasonable, let's talk about a flock camera again. But in this case, aiding in the arrest of an individual who, in this case, rammed a police cruiser twice during a fleeing incident in Newington. Well, the flock camera was not actually just recording his license plate. The individual's face was actually recorded. But you say, I thought they were just license plate recorders. Well, if you're listening to this, you didn't say that at all, because you know full and well that flock cameras are the very edge, the eyes and ears of the panopticon. And so, of course, no, they're not just getting your license plate. Come on now. Did you ever expect any less? Whatever. Whatever. Let's see here. Yeah, you need to know. You need to know. So, Unitree, Chinese drone manufacturer, they released a new dog-style drone. This one's got wheels, and it's fast, and it can go anywhere. That is all. You just needed to know. The Unitree drone it's quick. It can go almost 20 miles an hour, about 10 to 15, maybe 16 miles an hour, 30-ish miles an hour. So it's got the standard, dog layout, knees, hips, that can be splayed at angles, but ending in electrically driven tires. So there is almost nowhere this thing can go. And with that layout, it is incredibly able. And also, it can support, what was that, 180 kilograms of weight. So, yeah, be a very handy thing for a person, a person wanting to go out into the wilderness, a military wanting to track and kill dissidents, what have you. Unfortunately, this is the very heart and soul of a dual-use technology. Just as well as you could mount a disabled person that's fallen or had a heart attack or what have you on the back of this thing, or on, like a wheeled dolly or stretcher, you can just as well mount a Modus. And if that doesn't horrify you, well, I don't think you adequately have horrifiable elements to your nature, and you need to work on that. So what else have we got? We got a presidential promise from Xi for make of it what you will. Make of it what you will. But Xi has said that he will not be providing aid to Iran. I guess that is to say, not be providing further aid to Iran. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But speaking of aid to Iran, and in this case, the opposite thereof, Ukraine. Those uppity fellas, they attacked the Ukrainian target. I don't have the... Let me see if I can find the specifics. Ukraine, Iran. Let's see if I can get the exact target. What did they do? Ballistic missile strikes on Kiev. Drone strike on a Iranian ship. For a... okay, so they're transporting Russian weapons, and Ukraine felt the wise move to attack Russian weapons headed for Iran. Well, whatever happens, it's going to be funny. I'll go ahead and grab a link to this Visegrad 24, because actually it does apply to a Visegrad 24 country. As you'll know, we've commented numerous times in the past on how Visegrad 24 has, well, found themselves well outside of their purview. Funny old world, that. So yeah. Like I said, we're trying to do good things. So that said, I do believe I put the link to the Ebenezer trailer in here, and it actually looks pretty okay. What else have we got here? We've got a number of folks out there just running old, weird, hard math problems through LLMs and getting answers. And as you might imagine, the muckety-mucks in the mathematics community are nonplussed, shall we say. They are none too pleased that that these incredibly esoteric questions are being answered or being told to be invalid questions in the first place. Because it is what it is. Some of these questions are truly just intellectual masturbation. I wish I had a better description for you than that, but I just don't. It really and truly is what it is. Now, something interesting has happened over the past week. An account that I believe I might have mentioned last showed, Brian Rommel, has been experimenting with very low-end AI hardware. In this case, he's been using something like a Raspberry Pi. Not even that, really, honestly. Something... Oh, what are those things? Not the Raspberry Pi, but the controller... Arduinos. Something like an Arduino. So he's been working on an ESP32 project, an ESP32 device. My man Craig, he actually has one that he would like to try this on. So we might have some personal updates for you on this one going forward. But Brian has made some really excellent progress. Let me hop over to his profile and get the latest update on that, because... where was the link here? Been a very busy day, so he's got... Ooh. Interesting. there will be a Kimi K3 download made available, it appears, possibly from the Anthropic website. But he hasn't got that linked anyway. I'll have that for you later. Anyway, so he has... Oh, goodness gracious, why am I having such difficulty finding this? Oh, well. I'll keep looking for a quick moment for... Nope. That's the other one. The other one being incredibly cool. He got access... this was the guy that I was talking about last week that was doing the microfiche and getting that all together to load into AI programs. This guy he's really on point. He's made such great points regarding all the data that we've talked about here on the show that's just gone. Like the Rogue Science Forum. It's gone. Absolutely fascinating science was done on energetics and homemade energetics, as well as many and varied questionable science topics. So this is good data, and this is what we want these machines programmed on, because like I was telling you in the last show, and have many times before, most AIs are programmed on garbage data. They're programmed on modern internet and Reddit, and it's just not adequate. So let me grab this other link here. Brian got access to some old Soviet data regarding psychic phenomena and potential extraneous energy sources, which I very much hope that this will be fed into, his data systems. There it is. Got it. Okay, so he put together a machine. Let's see. Let me get the stats for you. Okay, Ryzen 5 desktop, 24 gigabytes of DDR4, a single 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, PCI 3, not 4, no GPU. Let's see here. Installed it directly for a Linux install. Can do a Windows install as well. Peak RAM usage never exceeded 24 gigs. And I believe in the early part of this, peak usage averaged at 15.4 gigabytes. So that's quite a reasonable machine to run a relatively powerful local model. So again, I'll throw a link down below for that, so that if you're interested, you can follow up on that one yourself. Hey, maybe even build yourself a nice little local LLM. Good stuff. Good stuff. So let me see here. I know I've got a couple other good ones. Well. Oh. Yeah. Not so much good, but somebody else, another Flock story. Somebody else just doing some digging, getting some of the backstory, and seeing that, yes, as previously reported, many and varied individuals are accessing those very same things, the whatevers. So, I guess this isn't good news per se. It is funny, and depending on where you fall on the lines of storytelling, could be good. There's a new Avatar that'll be coming, an animated series, and, well, long and short, Korra ruined everything. She nearly destroyed the world, destroyed the heart of the world, and to save that, the spirit world and material world had to fuse into one, and it's caused an apocalypse, and the whole world is terrible. Congrats, I suppose. Whatever. Here we are. Told you so, I guess. I don't know. Let me think here. I feel like there's something else. Yeah, I guess. There is kind of a neat story. Well, I'll drop that below. It's a coral reef off the coast of Benin. Last it was seen, this is in the Gulf of Guinea. It had last been seen in the 60s and largely just abandoned because It was dying and dead. And nobody went back until just the last few years. Surprise, surprise, it has healed itself because of the utter and complete lack of concern. Nobody knows when, and nobody knows how. So not only did it not die, it survived and is now thriving. It'll be interesting to see what the results of the research, if there even can be any without any observation. But it will be interesting to see what the results of that are. So hey, cool stuff actually. The other thing, not good news, not bad news, but interesting news. Axon. If your city, your state, your county, what have you, isn't looking at Flock and you think to yourself, oh, well, that's wonderful, that's great. Just maybe set yourself up a Google alert or something like that for Axon. Basically, same thing, different company, different name. I need to tell you no more than that. And, boy, golly gosh, what else have we got here? Oh, yeah. You know that conspiracy about USAID money and how rap was made popular? Particularly, perhaps, artificially inflated in its popularity? Well, today, we've got just a kind of an old school country song that's number one on the Billboard charts. Huh. Go figure. Funny stuff. Oh, and of course, people are complaining. The usual complaints, as you might imagine, coming from the usual suspects. But, yeah, there is not a single rap song in the top 10. Number one song, Texan Country. Fascinating stuff. Absolutely fascinating. What else have we got here? What else have we got? I know I got at least one more good story. Well, yeah. How about it? I got a fun story, and I believe this is out of Michigan. I believe, possibly Minnesota. But I believe Michigan. So some lady just goes into the mosque. Only lady there because, as we have reported numerous times, or if you're at all up to date on religious affairs, you'll know that they are segregated spaces. So she just walks right in and's like, hey, what the fuck? We're all real tired of your calls to prayer at your fucking 5 times throughout the day, early in the morning and late into the night. Calm your tits. I'll throw a link to that. Of course, the original and a nice little commentary, but, fun stuff.
Hey, man, sorry to say I missed it.
Not quite. I'm actually just kind of getting into the last good stories of the night. Wrapping it up solo. So thanks for making it, brother. Glad you could be here.
Yeah, well, everything fucking got fucked up. So
that will happen every now and then.
Huh?
That will happen every now and then.
Yeah. I had a moment yesterday. I was doing a cutout for bees, right? It started to work on Friday. I contacted the woman. The woman contacted me on like a month ago. So I'm like, man, I got to get this done, right? So I'll go there Friday, start the process, get super excited. Unfortunately, Queen comes out on first frame. Wasn't expecting it, wasn't prepared for it. She flies back in. Like shit, right? Get the rest of the comb out, get everything packed up, put the hive in place, and 30 minutes, 45 minutes, they all start to look like they're going to move into the nuke box, which was great. Like, that's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Sure.
So texted her, said, hey, I'm going to come pick it up tomorrow. So yesterday, she's like, oh yeah, I'm just getting home. What time you coming by? I'm like, I'll be there around 7. That's usually when they go to bed. And she's like, but, I said, hey, could you just take a look and make sure that they're going in and out of the nuke box? She says, yeah, they are, but there's a ton of them that are, outside that. I'm like, that could be, bearding. It's 85 degrees. It's a normal thing. Just send me a picture. She sends me a picture. I'm like, ah, shit. they have completely, totally occupied her space. They're not bearding on the box. And so I'm like, fuck. So I run to Home Depot, build myself a V vacuum real quick, which is, containment strategy and all that. Get over there and I start vacuuming them up. About ready to go home, figure I got her, and then I sit there, shine a light up, and there's a bunch of bees in each of the four corners. So I'm like, all right, shit, I'll have to come back tomorrow. Wait till they conglomerate again, and I'll just do it all then. All day, man. I was there from like 1:30, 2 o'clock, all the way till like 9. And I just kept on ripping and tearing. They were in everything. There were so many of them, and so many more, So
you
I
are,
saw that
you are
picture
the bee
yesterday.
master,
I'm like,
huh?
oh, fuck.
So we could just, shall we just call you Dr. Bees then?
Sure.
All right
Now
then,
my
Dr.
wife's
Bees.
pissed, and it all sucks.
So did you manage to avoid getting stung too extensively?
Yeah, my suit's awesome. I love it.
That's good. That's good. So, as I am wrapping up here, I have got some kind of interesting things we can discuss real quickly. Firstly, there is an open source MRI. It doesn't have the same kind of what would you say, like resolution as the real deal, but for what it is, it's a really impressive machine. Let me see if I can get the exact resolution, because Craig actually chimed in on that and looked over it here. Maybe tag me on Twitter. Let me see here.
An open source MRI machine?
Yeah, that can be, like, the price on it is genuinely very, very impressive. Let me see here. Standard MRI is like 1 to 3 million. They're able to put their system together from 28,000 to 68,000, depending on what you use. And it doesn't need to be superconducting. It doesn't need like supercooling, anything like that. The spatial resolution is 1.5 by 1.5 by 5 cubic meters. So not as big as, like hospital type MRI, but for a cost of, let me see here, the magnet for this looks like it can be put together, the array, for about $1,370, which goodness, I think the magnet array in a standard MRI is like a couple $100,000. So I mean, that's just an absolute order of magnitude smaller. And I mean, from there it would reasonably, you could probably scale this up. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. It's just a matter of having the material there, just so that you've got a bigger space to work with, right?
Oh, I mean, realistically, once they've kind of done this, they'll be able to sit there and release a how to turn it on, turn off for bigger magnets, which will allow you to get better resolution
and such, yeah.
Signal resolution. But still, I mean, $70,000 for this thing, right?
At the top end.
Right, but $70,000 for an MRI machine, it's not going to do anything to American healthcare.
No.
Realistically. Or actually, I take that back.
No, it actually could.
That's
in rural
true.
situations, that could be
in rural
an absolute game changer.
Yep, because that's one of the things. And by the way, it will overall decrease the cost of medical performance, because they'll have to compete with this thing.
Certainly. And if nothing else, at a minimum, it drives innovation. Because if they're able to do this without the supercooling, that's actually a pretty big deal. Like, they're doing this on outlet power. On outlet power without supercooling. That's pretty dope.
Well, that'll drop the maintenance. And that is actually something that will get iterated on.
Oh, yeah.
They can do it without the supercooling. Like, even if you get to half of, what is it? It's 50 milliteslas versus 1 point. So it's like
Oh, they actually can pull off a
30-ish
50
times
millitesla
less.
field, on par with another machine. Just the size of the field isn't as expensive.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 times less. But I mean, still, if you can get to half, that'd be pretty impressive.
And I mean, to be fair, it looks like they've well exceeded that, honestly, and that's fucking great, really. I mean, I love to see this kind of.
Field strength says 50 milliteslas, so the others are like 1.5 Tesla.
Well, fair enough. I would have to defer to you on this because, after all, I am the layman in these discussions. 99 times out of 100. So
Yeah, it's 1.5 Tesla vehicles.
there you go. So I've got another one here. This one isn't really good news per se. It's also not bad news because it's not really news. Everybody already knew. But it's one of those, oh, you're finally saying it in public. And not just in public, on the news, actually. So Fox News got one of the fucking DSA heads to show up and explain the platform. And it's, well, they're just putting it out there for you. They're not even hiding. Like, let's see here. Shall I read from it? Abolish the Senate. And these are direct quotes from the interview. Abolish the Senate? True. Abolish ICE? Absolutely. Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone in the U.S. illegally? Yep. Defund the Pentagon? Absolutely. Abolish prisons? Yep. We are not dealing with serious people here. We are dealing with the pinnacle of unserious people, actually. And, well, you know what they say about walls and useful idiots and bullets. I'll leave it at that.
I just don't understand why it is that they want to run their experiment in our country. Like, if they hate everything about our country, why not just go run their experiment somewhere else?
Yeah, you'd think that, I mean, it's failed everywhere it's been tried, but, you'd think that they might want to try it somewhere where they, weren't
like,
working
if it's such a great thing, then why don't you go to some sort of brown nation and demonstrate its ability to pull it off there?
Why not Libya?
Export it to our poor, worse off country.
Yeah, you could try it in Libya. That would be a perfect place. I mean, they've got slavery there, so the slaves would be happy to be raised up to just workers and no longer being slaves. That'd be a good place to start, don't you think? Or at least a reasonable one,
Yeah.
I can't think of any worse places to give it a try. I mean, we came, we saw, he died, so we should do something for him, right? Oh, that heel dog. Boy, they broke the mold with that one. I hope. I sincerely hope. Tee-hee. So, I actually do have a closing story for us. And that is by way of the NRA and the ATF. So, in latter days, the NRA has proven themselves to be pretty decent. After they got LaPierre out and kind of switched gears to, as much as I hate to say it, a more modern audience. In this case, they actually found an extant audience. They're getting shit done, actually. So, out of the ATF, they've, I think we might have mentioned this before, but there's been some proposals to basically strengthen traveling protections for individuals because, as we've reported on numerous times in places like New Jersey and New York, if you're carrying a gun, even if it's perfectly legal where you're from, or where you're going, or where you have just been before crossing the border, that has absolutely no bearing on whether you can or cannot in one of those states. California, another, excellent example of that sort of thing. So, what we've got here is notice by way of the ATF, entitled "Clarifying Interstate Transportation of Firearms Under the Gun Control Act." It would rework the regulation implemented under 18 U.S.C. 926A, and it would serve a function much similar to Bruin, in this case to, how shall we say, mesh with the intent of the bill at the time it was passed, the intent of Congress, which is to say to legitimately protect travelers traveling through jurisdictions. Let me see here. So let me just read from the statement here. It would include staying in temporary lodging overnight, transiting between modes of transportation, stopping for food, fuel, vehicle maintenance, an emergency or medical treatment, picking up or discharging passengers, moving a firearm at the beginning of a journey from a fixed address to a vehicle for transportation, or at the end of a journey from a vehicle to a fixed address, and any other activity incidental to the original transportation. Meaning this isn't just a state lines deal. This would be like you're in New York City and you want to go to the range, but you haven't jumped through the 78.9 billion different hoops you have to even be able to put your gun in your car from your home and transport it to another place. You just could. As it should be with your property. You should just be able to transit with your property. And it would appear that the ATF has taken some sane pills to make them not crazy, and is fully endorsing that going forward. So actually a pretty nice development, considering how adversarial
Gun laws will only apply to residents of their locales.
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, that is how it ought to be. I mean, they should be a little bit more judicious, in my opinion, but, step in the right direction, so I will take what I can get. But, well, as stated, the NRA here, quote, "The rule should cover intra-state as well as interstate." Just as I was saying. So, again, that example of New York City, exactly that sort of thing. You haven't jumped through the bunches of hoops, or, as we reported on some years ago, paid off the police officer that you need to pay off to get your concealed carry and your pistol license and your carry permits and all your everything else. Because would you really be surprised that the systems are corrupt in New York City? They elected Zoran Mamdani. Come on, people. But with that, golly gosh, I think I've hit all the high points I was wanting to hit. Yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, yeah, well, an interesting one. So just a few days ago, January 23rd, the world hit its peak of commercial air flight travel. 153,359 commercial flights tracked worldwide that day. Which, well, I guess we made it to the other side of COVID, and things are maybe not better, but kind of better. But anything you want to cover tonight while I got you here, my man?
Nah, sorry.
Hey, no
I
worries.
just came on to apologize for not showing up earlier.
Hey, it's okay. Glad you could make it.
I got fucked by my own bad choices.
As so many of us often do. But, hey, it is what it is. You made it. You got to say hi to everybody. So, I guess you can also say goodbye to everybody. So, everybody's been a pleasure. Of course, that's my man Steve. You can find him at Ratman720. And I'm Evan, at That Fake Guy Dan. As always, an absolute pleasure sharing the news in the background that you need to know with you. So, share the show, leave a like, and leave a comment. Oh, again, much like last week, there is a new subject of the remote viewing experiment. There is a subject. It is a real image. Imagine it with your mind and leave a description in the comments below. look forward to hearing what you have to say. And if you think you know what the last one was from last week, leave a comment for that one as well. Be very, very interested to see how correct you are. Again, the hint, a person. But that's all you get. The subject is a person. So, Steve, thanks for showing up, brother. Glad you could make it, even if it was at the end of the night. So give him a follow. Give me a follow. Give Craig a follow also at CraigBob99. And everybody, thank you so much for showing up. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you have a great week. Be well. Be safe. We'll see you soon.